Greetings, Masandawana. I am back with another installment of the Yellow Corner, bringing you the preview of our Betway Premiership Game Week 10 fixture as we host rich in form Natal Rich Boys Richards Bay on Saturday night, 8 o'clock at the Lucas Masterpieces Muripe Stadium. And as tradition has it, when we start these previews, we start by reflecting back on our last game, and our last game happens to be a disappointing defeat away from home in KZN against Golden Arrows, a Golden Arrows side coached by one of our former coaches, Coach Mangoba Mngeti, and yeah, he got one over us, beating us 1-0. And yeah, man, my thoughts on this game, man. Hey, yeah, no, yeah, just that I can't say things that I really want to say, and those things would include swearing, and yeah, that was awful, guys. That was an awful display. Absolutely poor performance. We didn't show. The play was broken. We showed zero determination. We looked lost. We looked like we didn't want to be there out in the cold, in that weather, and remember those who used to watch what do you call this, the English Premier League, when they always said, can you do it on a rainy night at the Britannia against Stoke? And most teams used to struggle when they played Stoke away at the Britannia, and when it was raining, they didn't want to go there. We looked like we didn't want to be in that pitch. We were lost for ideas. Like, there was zero penetration. The keeper did absolutely nothing in that game. We did nothing, man. Every time we got closer to the box, we lost the ball. Cardoso, when he came, he said he's a, I can't remember what he said exactly. He's a defensive coach, but his strength lies in defense. I watch Sundowns play, and nothing says to me their coach is very good defensively, because we get caught so many times. It is scary. To be honest, that scoreline was not a true reflection of that game. We should have been battered in that game. They should have taught us a new one. 1-0. Yeah, no, that was a terrible performance, man. And the only positive out of this game was Nuno Santos, man. I think he showed that he's a quality player in those 45 minutes that he played. You could tell that he's not fit, because you could tell that he was gassing up. You could tell that he was tired, but we saw glimpses of a very good player. Does things. The basics, man. He does things so simple, man. Scans, receives, passes, moves. The basics, I watched that game with a friend of mine who's a Kaizer Chiefs fan, and he was so impressed with him. So was I. But apart from that, man, that was terrible. We got exactly what we deserve. We deserve from that game, but hey, man, now I'm worried, guys. I don't know about you, but still on that subject, the game. Is it time to cut our losses and let go of Coach Miguel Cardoso? For me, yes. I stand by what I said on the preview before our first game of the second game block, before game week 6, where I said, if he can't get maximum points out of this game block that we're currently in, then nah, man. I think he needs to leave, man. This is the easiest game block for us this season, according to me. And if you can get maximum points out of this game block, where is he going to get maximum points this season? For me, this relationship is not working out. I would have loved to have seen Cardoso being given a season, but for me, this relationship is not working out. He's not getting the best out of these players, man. The football is bad, guys. The football is bad. It's one thing playing terrible football, but getting results, and you playing terrible football, the results are not there, there's no consistency, in this team, and Yeah, no, man. And his team selection, man, leaves a lot to be desired, But on this one, he's not the only one to blame, according to me. I stand by what I said when we did the season preview, even though certain people came for me. I stand by what I said, and I will repeat it again. That sporting director is not good for Sundowns. Stand by what I said. According to the information that I have, and from my sources, I'm not the only one with sources. There are people who watch the Yellow Corner who've got sources who get information. You might be getting different types of information with regards to this guy. I stand by what the information that I know when it comes to this guy, and he's not good for this team based on what I know. And I'm not saying you guys should take what I said in the season preview and go with it. If you hear something different with regards to the sporting director and you believe that, so be it, fine with me, but I stand by what I say, because I know for a fact that he gets involved in a lot in team selection, and as a sporting director, is that his role? If he wants to be the coach, then let him be the coach. Get rid of Cardoso and let him be the coach so that the buck stops with him and he must stop hiding under Cardoso scared, man. Because I'm saying Cardoso must go, but he must not be the only one who goes. This guy must follow him, But yeah, no, man. Now I am worried. Speaking on sticking on that subject, yeah, team selection. It's really disappointing to see. On the preview, we spoke about Allende a lot. And from my side, with regards to, I rate Allende as a player. I rate him highly, but I think the fact that he gets played even when he's not performing kills the team, and it also kills him because he the minutes that he gets, man, he doesn't get rest, so he goes into the games as refreshed, there are games that Allende shouldn't be playing, but he plays, and that's my only gripe with Allende is that he gets played even when there's no need to. I'm not saying Allende must be dropped because he's a bad player or anything. I don't think Allende is a bad player. I think he's a very good player, but because he gets played so much, it actually affects him and his form drops, and then he doesn't get the same treatment as others where when they drop, they go to the bench. Teboho Mokoena has been inconsistent. A few weeks ago, I said, I can't remember which game we had played, and I gave props to Tebza, but I then said, can you count on him to do it in the next game? And clearly not. The guy's tired. In that game against Arrows yesterday, there were, in the dying minutes, the game was passing him by. And you could tell that he is done. He is tired, but he's going to play. There's Jayden Adams. Jayden Adams is begging to be dropped. He's literally begging to be dropped with the performances that he's been dishing. But nope, that's not the case. He gets played, I feel sad for someone like Batusi. Batusi gave a man of the match performance against Magesi, if I'm not I stand to be corrected, but I think it was against Magesi, And I said on the preview leading up to the game after that, I said I would rest Tebza, for a while, because I can tell that he's tired. Give Batusi a run, repay him for playing so well. But the next game, he was benched, and I think he's only come on as a sub since that game in one of the games that we played. What does that say? If I'm Batusi, don't I say to myself, what's the use of giving my all in training, knowing that even if I'm to get a chance, I will not. Even if I perform when I get that chance, the next game I will be dropped. Guys, I know for a fact that in football, there is the main team. The coaches have their favorites. But in some instances, you need to be smart. You need to repay players for what they do. You're killing Batusi's confidence. If Batusi doesn't perform in training because he feels there's no need for him to give his all, it eventually affects the team because in training determines how we're going to play come match day, So there are a lot of things that Cardoso does. Don't get me started on Matthews, man. Like there are a lot of things that Cardoso does that Now for me, I know you. The season can still be saved for me. According to me, we can still save this season. But if we keep this guy, which I think is definitely going to be the case, I saw Majida Bofio tweet after the game, or the mere fact that we are signing two Portuguese guys tells you those guys. The recommendation comes from Cardoso, and this tells you that he will be here for a long run. So I will see, guys. We'll see. I know we'll be called fake supporters because we're not supposed to criticize, even though we see that what we see with our eyes is just utter nonsense, But yeah, man, the transfer window has closed, guys. Transfer window has finally closed. Are we happy with our dealings in this transfer window and our squad going into the season? Hesh, I'm not too happy. From the little that I saw of Santos against Aros, I think he's a quality player. From the little that I saw, and so is Fawaz Basadin. Fawaz is a quality player. I still need to see Tiki, and Tabelin. I still need to see the Portuguese guy that is still to be announced. At the time of recording, he hadn't been announced. I forgot his name. It's Realison or something like that. Apologies if I'm getting it wrong, but yeah, he's said to be joining us in the next few days. I personally wanted a ceiling raiser for this team, especially at 10 and or at left forward, someone who will, someone who will get into the dressing room first training session, Majida, at the end of the training session, and some, no, we've got one here, we've got a baller here, and I think the squad is good enough to win the league. I just don't think we have a good enough squad to win the Champions League. So, yeah, man. The one thing that has annoyed me at this transfer window, and I said this months ago. I can't remember whether it was during the season preview or in the first few games of the season, in one of the previews. I said, I do not want us to get into a situation where we leave things late, we sign players late, and they don't get integrated into the team early, and they take time to get integrated into the team, and that's exactly what has happened. I do not understand us leaving things so late. The sporting director, the technical team, before the end of the season ends, I'm sure they would have sat down and discussed, okay, guys, this is where we're lacking. We need to reinforce here and there. We need to let go of this or of so and so. And with the way we acted as soon as the season ended in terms of letting go of players, I was excited. No, we're letting go of players early so that we can bring in players early. But that's not the case. This was poor planning and poor preparation for us to be signing the players this late. More so foreign guys who are still has to acclimatize to the country, and I'm not happy with how we've moved, man. We've not moved like a big team, a serious team, a team with a purpose, a team that knows what it wants, So that for me was really disappointing, man. I'm sorry, guys, if you find this preview negative. These are just my views, and yeah, man, we are playing high-flying Richards Bay, man, really, really rich in form. They lost their first 4 games of the season, including that 4-0 drubbing against us in the MTN 8. And I think after that game, they lost 3 in a row. But since then, in their last 5 league games, they've collected 11 out of 15 points with 3 wins, 2 draws, and 0 defeats. And yeah, man, they've been really, really impressive. I think Ronnie Gabriel and Ginger have really, really turned the corner and found what's working for this team. And they are not blowing teams away. I don't think anyone expects Richards Bay to blow teams away. They're grinding out results. But they are winning. They're scoring one goal here. I think their second last game of the season was the last time they considered two goals. They haven't considered more than one goal in their last 7 games of the season. So that tells you that no, they are now rock solid at the back. They're grinding results. And if they continue in this manner, I think they will definitely not be fighting relegation come the tail end of the season. So I think they did. Papi and Ronnie Gabriel, like I said, have turned the corner. And to be honest, they are doing a really, really a good job right now. What to expect on Saturday? I honestly don't know. I think it will be a very, very tense. It will be very, very tense at the stadium, and a slow and unconvincing start will see this tension spill onto the field. It will definitely spill pitch side because the Yellow Nation is not happy at all. Even after some wins, guys have said, nope, we are not happy with this club right now. So I do not know what Cardoso is going to do in this game. Sundowns have really flattered to deceive the season, man. There's a possibility that we can blow away Richards Bay and win 4-0 and they sell us dreams, and then only to give us a flat performance in the next game. There's a possibility that Cardoso will make a lot of changes and say he's giving players a chance, and we saw what we saw, and if they don't perform, so now I'm worried going into this game. I'm not really hopeful, man. I've prepared myself for disappointment going into this game, and for me to feel like this going into a game against Richards Bay, guys, not so long ago, we used to beat teams before we entered the pitch. We used to defeat them. They just knew they are honoring this fixture. Right now, teams come play against us with zero fear. And if Papi and Ronnie Gabriel took a leaf out of the it says yeah, if they took a leaf out of Alexandra Lefid and Mangoba's book or page and saw that like if you press Sundowns and put them under pressure, you can get something out of your game against them. Then I think they will implement the same thing that Alexander Lafide, Magumu Galan's coach, and Manoma implemented, and I think what actually helps them going into this game as well is that they've been doing so well, and this game they can use it as a buy. If they lose, no one expects them to beat Sundowns, but which will give them a motivation and character to take the game to Sundowns, and who knows, they might get something out of this. Like, guys, teams don't fear us. Teams don't fear Sundowns. They come at us. They go pound for pound with us now. They press from high, and yeah, no, I'm really worried, man. And what worries me more is that their workmen like midfield of Mjali Zuke and Mtetwa will nullify our midfield, our very rigid midfield. That midfield three guys, I know we're not getting anything out of that midfield, and I know that Mangoba spoke about that midfield. They will shut down that midfield, and then there will be nothing from Mamelodi Sundowns. I've been really impressed by one of their boys, Nzama. His name is Siabo Nzama or something. Nzama. Very, very impressive player, man. Short boy, man. I think he was number 19. Every time I've watched him, he's been really, really impressive. There's talent there, He didn't play in their last game against Makesi, so I'm not sure if he will play against us. But for me, he's a player meant to watch, And they have different strikers who. They have strikers with different attributes. They have the experience of Mutizwa as well as Gaba Mhango, and Gaba, he's annoying because he's a pest. He will rough up defenders, So, and he can also score, man. Hey, I watched when he played for Malawi a while back, man. Hey, he had a very, very good game, man. If they have that Gaba against us, man, he will give us troubles. But there's a boy that I like in that team, Mahala. I spoke about him before when we were about to play them in the MTN 8 and he didn't play that day. But keep an eye on that kid, man. He is relentless. And I think those are the guys that we need to keep an eye on, From Sundowns, guys, I don't know what to expect. I don't know what to say about Sundowns. Lineup, I think this is the lineup that he will go for. I think he will go for Williams. I think he will go for Mudau, Koza, and Mvala. Because I'm not sure if until he's concussed Cupido. And then Obza at left back. I think he will play Obas in this game. Allende and Santos in front of them, and then Sales, Rinas, and Matthews. Score prediction: we are either going to win 3-0 or draw 1-1. So that's my prediction, guys. Apologies, guys, if you found this preview to be really negative, but is there anything to be positive that's Sundowns right now? Not for me. Thank you guys for watching. Please continue subscribing and spreading the word about the Yellow Corner. And yeah, next time you'll see us when you'll see me or see us when you see us. Until next time, shap shap Masandawa.